This has just come in the post. So what this is a curve card. Now, what curve card is basically designed to do is to take all of this, or all of your cards in particular, and to put them all in one place, and to give you one card that gives you the ability to tap into each of those cards and use them all. So you don't have to carry your wallet around with multiple cards. You can have one card and you can assign which card you take the payment from. So it's quite revolutionary in terms of how it's designed. And the reason I came about it is because I'm a massive Monzo fan. Like I love Monzo. I've done a couple of videos on it. I can't shout about it enough. And because of that, I'm always interested in new tech sort of banking financial solutions, and I came across Curve and I was like, this is pretty cool. And also as well, the guys have put me on an affiliate scheme, which basically means if you sign up to Curve, you guys will earn £5, which is amazing, and I'll also earn £5, which is amazing. And what you can do with that, basically, you can take that affiliate code and you can share it with your friends. So you won't just earn £5 off of me. The more and more people you get to sign up to this, you can earn £5 for more. So it's benefiting everybody. And I think the reason it benefits everybody is because everyone's going to get £5, but also the way it works is amazing. Now the way it works is all on theory, because I haven't used it yet, because this is the first time it's come in the post. So what I effectively want to do is go through the process of assigning a card to my account. Basically, I've already assigned a couple of cards into the account, so I just want to open the card, show you an unboxing of this, show you the card, and then register the card on my mobile phone so you guys can see how it works. And then I'm going to go out and spend some money on it and talk about some of the features, just to give you an idea of how it all works. So let's open this up. It's pretty snazzy so far. Slides out one. So in my mobile phone, I then just need to go into my apps. I then go into here. Cool. Okay, so then what I need to do from here is activate my card. So just tap that one. Actually, before I activate it, just have a little look at the menu system. So this is activation. This is welcome to timeline. So once I start using it, this will be the timeline where I'm spending money, and it will show me which cards I'm spending money on. Then you have my cards. So you've got my Monzo, my Joint Monzo, and then my Lloyds Platinum. So I've got all of those cards. Obviously there's no transaction history on there because I haven't used them. You then have no transactions because I haven't spent any money on them. And then you have connect. So you can connect a load of apps to each of these guys, which is pretty cool. But what we're going to do is activate this card. Ta-da! There we go. So let's go out and spend some money on it and see how it actually works. So I did it. I went out to the shop and I took this with me and I left these guys at home. That's one of the great things about this Curve card, is basically it's not replacing any of your accounts. You still have those accounts, they still exist. All you're basically doing is using technology to amalgamate them all into one place, which basically means you've got a central point to be able to choose which card you take. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you those couple of bits. I'm going to show you those couple of bits now by opening up the app and walking you through what's going on inside. So if I go into the Curve app now, face registration, cool, I'm into it. Now you can see basically you've got my insights. So this is over on the right hand side and it's showing the transactions that I've made today. So there are two transactions. Well, there's two transactions and I've categorized one of them as a business transaction because that's an option you have, and it is something that's going to go towards my business, so it makes sense to categorize it like that, and it'll also make it easier for claiming expenses and doing things like that in terms of like dealing with tax and all that sort of jazz. So if I have a look, as you can see over on the left hand side where it says card, it's got all the details around my card and it will give you some information in terms of your Curve credit limits or your Curve limits. So basically in terms of what I can spend today, I can spend £3,746 from an overall £3,750, and my available ATM withdrawals are £1,000. This is pretty much standard for most of the Curve cards. I can manage my subscriptions. So Curve have a couple of features. So you have the basic blue card, which is the one that I have on, and that basically gives you your card. It saves you spending money abroad, so you have a fee-free up to £500 spend abroad, which is great. If you take a step up to the next card, which is the black one, what you'll basically get is that free, but then you also get free foreign ATM withdrawals and worldwide travel insurance through AXA, which is pretty cool. Then if you step up to the Curve Metal, you basically get all of those, but your card is basically metal and a little bit snazzier. So there's a couple of options in terms of adding features to them. Now, so then I come out of here, you can also see the timeline. So the timeline shows the 2 transactions that I just went out and made. So we had Holland and Barrett's £2.49, which is a bit of a rip-off. It said it was £1.50 and then I paid £2.49 for it, but I'm one of those guys that won't dispute it at all. So you can see the transaction details. I can categorize this transaction into numerous ones: business, service, shopping, entertainment, groceries, food, drink, bills, you name it. There's loads of options in there. I can also add a receipt. So if I had taken a receipt, I can add in there, which is great for expenses and VAT and things like that. I can write a note. I could write a note saying I'm really pissed off that they charged me £1 extra for my protein bar that I shouldn't have paid. And I can also categorize it as a business expense. So I can click the little box, turn it into a business expense, and that will again help separate what is being spent on my business and what is being spent personally. Now, what you also have is a great feature, which is one of the USPs for Curve. This is basically called Go Back in Time. What this is basically going to do is you can switch the card you've made a purchase on up to 14 days after you've made the purchase and less than £1,000 in value. Now let's think about this in a life scenario. So for instance, I have these 2 cards. I make a transaction on one of the cards and I made it because I pulled one of the cards out of my wallet and didn't realise what one is what. Of course I can go and transfer the money between those accounts. I can do that, or what I can do is I can go back in time, and rather than transferring money, I can have that debit come off of that specific card. So all I'll do is just click Go Back in Time, and then it asks me what account I want to send it to. I'll send it to my joint one. Do you want to do this? You can only do this on the purchase once. Yep, Curve's going to work its magic. Boom, that transaction has now gone onto my other card, and it's just flagged up on my iWatch to say that that transaction has gone onto my joint account, which is pretty good. Like, it works. And this is the great thing with these new pioneering technology companies that work in the financial industries. Traditional banks are so slow to maneuver, and that's one of the first reasons I moved over to Monzo. And then from Monzo, I've come across, things like Curve, and they just work instantly. My watch tells me what's going on, my phone tells me what's going on. I don't have to call a bank, I don't have to do any of that sort of nonsense, which is the reasons I really sort of dislike traditional banking. Whereas these guys are very modern and forward thinking, and so far from what I've seen, very impressive. So then if we come out of there, we then have a wallet, and this wallet feature is going to give us the ability to change the card that we're currently using to spend on. So at the moment it's set to my personal Monzo. I can then change it to my joint Monzo, or I can change it to my Platinum Lloyds account. And you can see here that originally I'd spent on my personal Monzo. That transaction has now moved to my joint Monzo. So you can see both of those transactions are now under one card as opposed to the 2 separate cards, which is great. You can add, multiple cards on there, so there's no limitation in terms of like if you've got credit cards, debit cards, all that sort of stuff. There's loads of options in there. And then you have your Insight. So this is going to take you into Insight. You can search via category. So if you've put stuff into general or business service, you can filter all those down, which is great. And then you have Curve, Connect, which is at the end on the right. So I have Curve Cashback. Now what I've basically done, and this is one of the other USPs of Curve, is I basically have chosen 3 vendors that I will get cashback from every time I use my Curve card there, which is great. So I have Monzo, I have Lloyd. The Curve card is giving me the ability to earn cashback when I use it. So of course I can continue using these cards, but the incentive to use this means I'm going to get cashback on places that I know I'm going to spend money. 9 times out of 10 you get cashback from places that you're never going to go to. It'll be like a cashback offer from some place you never shop at. Whereas this, I've been selective, and the ones I've chosen is Starbucks, Sainsbury's and Tesco's, because I use them regularly. There's a Tesco's everywhere you go, and I tend to top up my fuel from Tesco's. Sainsbury's is just down the end of the road to us where we live. There's lots of Sainsbury's, so we tend to do sort of like regular shopping there. And Starbucks, I prefer Starbucks coffee to Costa coffee, so I'm always going to go there. Position. Then you have vote for future connections. So at the bottom here, it's given me an option to vote for specific new applications to Curve Card. One of the ones that I put my vote on is QuickBooks, because I use QuickBooks for my accounting, for running my photography business. So if I had the ability to link my Curve card to my QuickBooks for taking payments, because Monzo is a consumer product, okay? It's not a commercial product. You can't do your bank, or you can run it as a business account, but it's not ideal. You want a commercial account for doing that. So you can't do that through Monzo. So by having the features on here, you can start using it more commercially, which is great. So what it's basically doing is taking, you know, all the great stuff from your existing bank and rolling it all into the ability to use them all through one singular card, which is pretty impressive. Then as I was out, as I was shopping, I still get my Monzo notifications as I'm spending money, and I also get a Curve notification. So from what I've seen from my little road test, this is pretty cool. I'm really impressed with it so far. Yeah, so I'm going to continue to use it, see how I go with it. If you are interested in Curve, so if you've already got yourself a Monzo card, or you use one of these sort of like modern API cloud-based banking cards and you've been massively impressed with it, why would you not get yourself a Curve card? And a great incentive for getting your Curve card is down below there is an affiliate code. Using that affiliate code will mean you get £5 and I get £5. Which, you know, this is amazing. It's great news for both of us. So I hope you enjoy it. Really impressed with it so far, and any questions, pop them down below and hopefully I can answer them for you. Until next time, guys,